Hey, Dave.
Yes, Boater.
What do you call a sad tale about a Swedish car manufacturer sold to a Chinese holding company?
2020, The Revengeance thing.
A sob story. Hello,
Whoa.
Everyone. Welcome to Nerd Glasses
Bravo.
Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave Mann.
I figured I'd branch out a little bit in joke genre today. Welcome to Nerd Glasses. Welcome to 2021. Welcome back to the set after a mishap last week. Because of reasons that shall not be vocally named.
Oh no, I'll just say it out loud. Fuck you, Spectrum.
I mean, I was going to let you hold up the sign, Dave, but I wasn't going to say it out loud. But okay.
You can come and you can try to threaten Dan, but ain't gonna happen.
Yes, well, welcome as we continue to work on the set. We have the banner, our massive noggins behind Dave there. We're printed larger than life size, so, you know, that's always a weird feeling. I had someone fanboy over me yesterday.
Oh?
I voice acted in an audio drama called The Hyacinth Disaster that
Yes.
did quite well. And the director's friend was looking for talent for his own audio drama, and he was like, "Oh, I could introduce you to the person that played Dreadnought." And the guy was like, literally in the group chat was like, "Hold on, I'm fanboying right now." Okay, good. Okay, here's what we're looking at. It's like that's a weird feeling, you know. Maybe a little weirder than being printed larger than life size, but anyway. Yay, banner, but you're on the wrong sides. Well, you know what? New year, new sides. That's what we're sticking to. Dave, how was your because we've got a couple weeks to catch up on? How were your holidays?
They were wonderful. For those of you who aren't aware, I had recently gotten married. So this was the first Christmas as the Mann family. Me, my wife, my cat, and we stayed home and we made dinner and we watched America's Next Top Model reruns, and it was awesome. Hours and hours of going, they shouldn't have said that on national television. Ooh, they couldn't have done, they will never get away with that nowadays. That girl won? Really? That one? It was awesome. How about you, Boater?
It started off, I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's watch the behind the scenes stuff of The Mandalorian. Actually, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I've actually watched Muppet Christmas Carol all the way through. So I went to Disney Plus to open up that. And before I could hit that, it's like, Lego Star Wars Holiday Special. I was like, yes. So we watched that. We watched Muppet Christmas Carol.
I was going to say, did you watch Muppet Christmas Carol? Because Christmas morning, Claire and I have made it a tradition that we always watch that through its entirety.
Yeah. It's like, if we had seen it in its entirety, it would have been so long ago. We'd probably just seen bits and pieces. And then we also watched the behind the scenes of Mandalorian Season 2, because that was us.
The fact that Michael Caine was in a movie with Muppets and played it so straight.
He did. He played it straight. He said the tip to acting with Muppets is to not acknowledge that they're Muppets.
It was so, like, just every scene he's like looking straight into Gonzo's goofy face like, wah! And he's like, but what if little Timmy? I was like, oh no.
Oh boy. Okay, so I hope everyone else had a wonderful couple of weeks. In our absence, we are here. We're kicking off 2021, and there's been some news happening. I guess I'll start off. Last week, about a month ago, we had reported on our Who Did Ban Twitch this week of the streamer Forsen, who was banned because of a GIF that was linked to him by a viewer that ended up being, surprise, horse porn. And
Womp womp.
Womp womp. And it was an indefinite ban that did end up getting rescinded last week, so he's back streaming, so yay! Still looking for transparency there, Twitch. Still looking for you to, you know, acknowledge that you have everyone's best interest in mind. But cool, thanks. You eventually did right in this one. So that's all I got with Twitch.
Twitch has been up to a lot of things lately. Especially namely that right around the holiday weekend, and I don't know if Dan saw this at all either, I'll shout to him off camera, or Boater if you sensed this at all, but man, Christmas weekend, Twitch was they were sitting on the struggle bus with all the rest of us, just could not do all of its functions all at once.
Yeah.
It definitely had to do with the fact that everybody and their mother has now recently decided to stream, which is awesome, and you can do it. And you can ask questions of lots of other streamers because they're happy to help you.
Yeah, it's easy to get into streaming. I'm always happy to help out friends with, hey, here's the bare minimum that you need for it, and okay, here's how to kind of up that game.
Spoiler alert, if you have fun while you do it, it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Have fun and your viewers will have fun.
But, so, man, Twitch really got on the struggle bus, and I'm really hoping that they've gotten off and don't have like a pass to get back on.
Yeah. I'm gonna catch up in chat here really quick. More like Rick and Morty saying we almost watched Muppet Christmas Carol on mute, reciting all the lines, or ad-libbing when we couldn't remember because we know it so well. Which, yes, sounds awesome, and I want to just be in the room with people doing that next year. Like, I don't know the lines by heart, but I want to be in the room with people who do. And then More Like Rigor Mortis says that due to a new work schedule, she will not be able to watch live in future weeks. So, apparently there's pressure on us to not deliver a stinker for tonight's show. We'll see. You get what you get. That's how it goes.
Wow, Boater. What a poop out. I have found
I'm excited.
much fun news,
a
lot of fun gimmicks. This is now normally where we transition to the games that are coming out. And the answer is, no, there isn't.
Nope.
Excuse the fact that there are definitely small releases, things like that, that are definitely not on the radar for larger release looks.
This is the type of year where if your math said, all right, cool, it's going to come out January 5th, then you either push it back a few weeks. You either push your release up a few weeks so you get it out by Christmas, or you push it back a few weeks, and February is when games are going to start coming out again.
So, if you do see an indie game that's getting released, if you see an advertisement on some social media, let us know, and we would love to look into it and chat about it in the future. If there's a game that's coming in the looming future, let us know on chat, on our Instagrams, on anything, and we would love to chat with you about them and build these.
Yeah, I love hearing like what little release that may not be on our radar that you're excited about. Like Immortals Phoenix Rising was one that we skipped the week that came out. There were a couple others that we skipped, and I realized after the fact, oh my god, that came out. So I got Immortals Phoenix Rising for Christmas, and I need to get started on that. My poor muscle memory. I'm playing like 4 different Assassin's Creed games.
And, none of them, with respect to, if they are not the game right after the last one, they do not play alike.
No, they don't. I'm playing 1, 2, Origins, which I also got. Immortals basically controls like Assassin's Creed. And they're also, like, Origins is just similar enough to God of War 2018 and Mad Max that my muscle memory is just like... Immortals is surprisingly good. I'm excited for it, partially, I'm a sucker for hearing Elias Defexis blasted into my eardrums. But also, it looks like it's going to be something that's going to be a lot of fun. So I will probably be starting that despite myself, considering everything else that I'm in the middle of. Again, I started Assassin's Creed Origins. It beg. Steph finished Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It beg.
So, Boater, I have so many stories to bring up today.
What do we got?
But I did want to bring up...
Dave, did I just see the organization that I thought I saw?
No, you certainly did not. But while we're talking about organizations that have brought the truth, the justice, and the American way, and a whole bunch of European game providers, the Coalition for App Fairness has once again joined ranks, and been allowed to have join in the annals of history another creator, another voice to fight that evil bastard Apple.
Is it us?
Unfortunately, I'm
going to ask that every time.
We have not yet had that $69 donated for us to join the Coalition for App Fairness. But someday, Nerd Glasses and Behind the Counter and Insane Games TV will stand up to Apple and say, hey, that 30% that we signed for, we don't want to give it to you anymore. So there. But, Boater, joining the fair ranks of the Coalition for App Fairness.
The fair ranks, I like it. Continue.
Oh, yes. Digital...
Thank you, actually, for waiting until I wasn't drinking anymore. I realized midway through that a spit take would be spectacularly bad.
The the news, I wanted to make sure, I was like, there are so many electronics in front of us, and if we spit, Dan is never going to let us do this show. Well,
why I made sure
I
to
hope
put
everyone
this
enjoyed
one.
the last nerd glasses.
You don't have to worry about catching up after this, more like rigor mortis.
The Coalition for App Fairness has been joined by
3 minutes
major U.S. news publishers who have previously raised concerns against gatekeeper platforms.
Do they name any publishers or?
Washington, D.C., December 16th, 2020. Digital Content Next, DCN, the only trade association that exclusively represents high-quality digital content companies, has joined the Coalition for App Fairness. Congratulations, Digital Content Next. You have joined the right side of history. You will be remembered right along with and those guys. And how about their face?
I just realized your Fire Emblem thing you got back here. That's awesome. We're adding so much stuff like every week to this. Question the Dark Heresy back there. Yes, that is Dave's.
Hell yeah!
And I plan on bringing in a Stargate SG-1 RPG book to go on the other side of the banner.
We could also join Digital Content Next. And we will be joining, by the way, Digital Content Next, which is very interesting because here's where this whole thing unfolds. They are the digital distributor for news sites such as The Business Journals, AP, Atlantic Media. But wait, here's where we're going to start getting into some names you've actually heard of.
AP is the Associated Press, David.
BBC News, CNBC, Disney, ESPN, Fox, The Economist, Consumer Reports,
They're just listing
the
news
MLB,
channels.
Guardian, NPR. These are members that work with DCN to have their articles distributed, formatted, edited, things like that. And it's very funny that this is literally like heavy hitter names and big companies.
So hold on. Then DCN has signed on to the Coalition for App Fairness.
Indeed, they have joined the champion ranks.
Really weird. I wonder, like, if that's just like as a lobbying group, and they're like, oh yeah, our if people subscribe to CNBC's news app off of the Apple Store, I wonder if Apple gets the 30% of that.
It'll be very interesting because this means, by the way, folks, if you subscribe to any of those platforms, that DCN...
That's like I have a Washington Post subscription.
Yeah.
Like a digital one, that I sign up for just like on the website. But like if I sign up for it through the app, I wouldn't expect Google to take a cut of that. I expect that Google sends me the app and then I subscribe to the newspaper just in the app itself. But yeah, if Apple takes their 30% of any payment that goes through their apps, I actually do see that as a legitimate grievance.
Yep. Which is where a lot of these, but what this means is...
It doesn't line up with what the others are. Like if someone owns a game on Apple and it's only on that platform, and you buy your thing on there, then that's whatever. This is a subscription is something you can access anywhere. It just happens to be through the app that you paid. I don't know. I would have to look into that.
What I'm looking forward to, though, and the big reason that DCN is such a big get for the Coalition for App Fairness, is they have so much visibility, so I will not be surprised if some of you folks watching out there actually see something either related to the Coalition for App Fairness or an article that directly quotes the Coalition for App Fairness. If you, watching out there, see anything bashing Apple and its fair use and fair practices and all of the other digital qualms that this company tries to gallivant and rally against...
then journalistic integrity be damned.
So definitely keep an eye out on things to see just how this works out, especially being that I don't use the Disney Plus on my phone, but I'll be interested to see if something with that is affected.
Like it's a subscription to a service that you're then like. No, I can't imagine that's the case because otherwise by now Netflix would have been like, no, we're getting that $12 a month or whatever Netflix is now. not Apple getting $4 of that. I don't know.
So speaking of our loyal comrades in arms rallying against Apple,
By the way, I just want to say, whenever Dave goes like this with Coalition for App Fairness, I wanted just a big sarcasm sign. I want to be nodding and agreeing with you and speaking in support, but for people that are new to the show, I do want to have like some sort of sarcasm tag. Continue.
Boater can be sarcastic. I'm earnest. Fuck you, Apple. No, speaking
That's
of
earnest.
which, in the Coalition for App Fairness, one of the members is Epic Games. Epic Games, a company that makes Fortnite.
Basically the founding member for all intents and purposes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is the purveyor, creator, and provider for the Unreal Engine.
Yep.
Fortnite, and many other popular games. And now, as I reported yesterday on Behind the Counter, dirty stinking idea thieves, because, Boater, as of the 4th of January 2021, Epic Games has purchased an expansion for their buildings. No, they didn't impressively go from less than 2,000 square feet to over 9,000 square feet, but they did in fact purchase an entire mall and all of its within so that they could move Epic Games out of their current offices and into what is a mall.
An old shopping mall.
Yes.
That's awesome.
They moved to the
Because like mall architecture is like so cool. Honestly, just the way that it is. I'm speaking as someone who ran a session of actual Cannibal Shia LaBeouf, a micro RPG, inside of a mall. It's such a unique kind of thing. I could see that being like a really neat, a cyberpunk feeling office thing. Because like I'm thinking in Deus Ex, Human Revolution, you walk into Seraph Industries and it's this big vaulted ceiling. And then, yes, there's, your offices and stuff off to the side. I'm just imagining you walk into, like, Epic's offices, and it's a mall, and it's this great big concourse. And there's probably at least 3 levels in this mall. I don't know. That's really cool.
From looking at layouts of it, it is just long. There are not multiple levels.
Okay. I'm slightly less
This
impressed,
is called
but still.
the Cary Town Center Mall. Conveniently, by the way, once again, Epic, seeing you, stealing our thunder and idea, only 980,000 square feet. So, get on our level, bros, with that. By the way, Insane Games moving across, quadrupling its floor space. It took us less than 3 weeks. Epic Games, their new home campus, will be open in 2024. Way to hustle it there, Epic.
Wow.
That's right. We're big brothering you here on the Nerd Glasses. Just because we're members of the Coalition for App Fairness doesn't mean we won't call you out for being stinks about it.
We can speak to you from that position of equality within the coalition, and then give you a noogie.
Exactly. Get on our level, bro. Get your own streaming network next.
I was gonna say actually, if you said that they like made an expansion onto their offices to have a dedicated streaming network on Twitch, I would have gotten on a plane ticket and punched them in the face.
So the cool thing will be that this campus will be open in North Carolina.
Okay.
There are no plans for people to be able to visit, but I'm almost positive that some journalists from the Coalition for App Fairness, fellow brethren, will be allowed in. Especially if I just do what I've done at literally every concert I go to and do a lot of other events. If you look like you need to be there, people really don't ask a lot of questions.
Will they have stores in their campus mall? Only Spencer's Gifts.
They will likely have a Spencer's Gifts and Arby's.
Dave, what do you think? What do you feel are the requirements? What stores need to be in a healthy mall?
And EB Games.
Okay, an EB Games or GameStop or owned by such.
Victoria's Secret Obvi.
Yeah.
I think
Starbucks. Okay.
you need some sort of.
You need some sort of coffee place. May not be Starbucks. Might be. There's some others, but Starbucks is the big one.
Anti GameStop, healthy. Now. They're going
a
to
game
pull
store.
through.
I honestly, back in my younger days, I would have said KB Toys.
I think
obviously, like a mall toy store. There isn't a mall toy store.
Demon Dragon, a family-owned Chinese place.
Yes, and yes.
So what I'll be interested in is to see. I have a feeling that they're just going to do what everyone's doing on the West Coast, which is not have it open to the public. Have it be. I also would really love to go dumpster diving when they inevitably just take everything that's in that mall and throw it away.
Yeah.
Because in the pictures, and I provided the article in there, they have definitely got an arcade in there. And we all know that those machines are heavy and not worth the people to move them out. And so Dave's getting a pinball machine. Mark my words.
Old Navy, JCPenney. Basically the categories of coffee, bras, games, clothes, Spencer's, shoes, something very weird and niche that changes seemingly every time you visit.
Or a McDonald's.
Crossgates had like an indoor mini golf place that was really cool for all of like a month and a half.
Me and Vladdy and Deli, my fair sister, used to go to a glow golf place that was in the mall that was only open after the sun would go down. Because the store had natural light come in and it would charge everything in this place.
Oh,
it was really cool.
Nice.
Unfortunately, definitely did not make it.
Yeah, no, obviously.
But it was awesome.
Actually, right now, I would say some sort of escape room place, even whether it's like a really good 5 wits or something like that, or if it's just some garbage where they're like, yeah, you were totally in there for 55 minutes. No, we were in for 20. I have a watch.
just because you asked me to turn off my phone doesn't mean my watch stops working.
Yeah. No, one where like there was a timer on the TV and it said like 45 minutes. Oh, that was time elapsed. No, it wasn't. But they're big enough that like most malls have some sort of escape room place. So yeah.
Yeah.
And probably also some thrift area, thrift or really discount, huge store with just a bunch of random crap. Steve should absolutely go in there for one man's trash.
We would also like to thank Steve for not breaking the internet this week, graciously providing us the opportunity to stream. So, I mean, I have got a bunch of other stories, Boater, so I want to know, do you want something game-related, something popular culture-related, something heartwarming, something something relevant to the times? What are you thinking?
Dave, while I was back here and just kind of going through my notes, I was playing on my phone, you ran back here and grabbed your ukulele.
Yes, I did.
And ran back out to the front of the store, saying it had something to do with an article.
Well,
please do not let that go until the next week.
So I'm going to source the article that inspired this in a moment, but it is off of Kotaku, a wonderful news site full of fantastic journalists that create much a different culture and community and content every single day. So definitely come check that out. But the title of the article was Video Games Predict a Grim 2021. And then I thought about it for a second, and I was reminded of a show I used to watch in young childhood. And I practiced the chords to this, but not singing it at the same time. So here if you're looking for me, you better check under the sea, 'cause that is where you'll find me, underneath the sea lab, underneath the water, sea lab, at the bottom of the sea. So, if you don't watch that show, Sea Lab 2021 is a cartoon show, and it is happening this year, and I will get my Bebop Cola. I am greatly looking forward to meeting Captain Murph and all of the other Scurvy crew. But there were many video games that predicted that said in the far future in 2021.
Yeah.
And so this article did so outline a couple games that went out of the way. And Boater, unfortunately, it looks like we're screwed.
Okay.
Because
so really quick, going through what game said where we'll be.
Coming in September 2021, as predicted by Dead Rising 3, a zombie outbreak that is caused by A virus not getting under control.
I think they were off by about a year, but still good.
A mobile game that I've never heard of called The Drowning, which predicted that at some time in 2021, so they're right straight up until December 31st, 2021.
They have 360 days to get this right.
Black oil will start washing up on our shores, but not just oil, because it quickly turns people into zombie-like creatures and the like.
I believe that's called U.S. politics.
Bam! June 2021, as predicted by D-Generation. First of all, we will have jetpacks. Secondly,
Yes, finally!
some of us will have jetpacks, and some of us will get turned into mutants that get transformed into a bouncing red ball that fire a singular red laser every 7 seconds. As this,
So not the fun kind of mutant.
no,
Okay.
the lame kind. So jetpacks coming
Okay,
in June.
jetpacks.
Or, Boater, how about this? Sometime in 2021.
360 days.
Back on the Sega Saturn on PC back in 1996.
Hell yeah.
The game Scorcher predicted a scary future where roads and racetracks float in ominous black voids. And we will death race.
I'm sorry. That seems like something awesome, and that seems like a game I need to download on like GOG or something.
I will leave the article to this here in chat for all of you folks to look over the future. Also, coming sometime in 2021,
Yeah, right.
Nanobreak. Nanotechnology Island. Stop laughing. Something bad has happened. Nanobreak, released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2. A copy of a game that I personally have sold 8 times. And the only reason I know that is because it's been the same damn copy. People buy it, they hate it, they return it, and then I put it back out there and laugh to myself. Because eventually, someone's going to like it. But
I love stuff that boomerangs. That copy of that game, again, a specific PS2 at the old game store I used to work at. Good times.
But nanobots are going to take over and destroy people. But there is a little bit of a glimpse of hope. Because sometime in 2021,
360 days.
we are going to be living in the future that is Trauma Center, Under the Knife 2.
Oh, God.
Unfortunately, by the way...
I've watched Game Grumps playing Trauma Center. I'm not interested in this.
Yes, I'm going to say, because unfortunately, where doctors will be almost omniscient and able to pull people back from the brink of death, there will also be lots of domestic and foreign terrorism, lots of super viruses,
Oh, God, that's
tons of
right.
evil corporations,
I didn't even think
killing
outside of
and
the
assassinating and things like that. But we have all this and so much more to look forward to in 2021.
Happy New Year!
If you find anything that was predicted in literature, in print, in video games, in songs that has to do with the predictions of 2021, absolutely let us know, and we would love to add that to the list.
We'd love to get that together in the Weekend Wednesday Discord. Oh, boy. Dave, so that's looking forward at what awfulness... I'm sorry, I was just distracted by Johnny coming through with a scooter. Last year, Dave, we've looked at what games are predicting for us this upcoming year.
Yeah.
Last year, 2021, had a lot of stuff going on gaming-wise. A lot of games coming out, some games coming back. Game of the year. We're not like a big publication or anything, but I think it's worth it to take a couple minutes and say, number one, what was your favorite game that you played last year? And number two, what game came out last year that you think should be Game of the Year? And I want to hear this from you in chat as well.
So your favorite game, your game of the year, a combination therein, honorable mentions to, hey, I had a lot of fun with this.
First off, I would say because of those rules of what came out this year, Among Us would probably be Game of the Year if it didn't actually come out in 2018.
I mean, goes to show, because I was not aware of that until actually at the Game Awards. when they acknowledged that it came out in 2018, and I was like, what?
Yeah. It had a steady ramp up and then just spiked due to streamers like hitting all of a sudden a different bunch of streamer circles end of August, beginning of September.
You know what? Anti-Claus Prime, Game of the Year, The Last Campfire. I'll rebuy that once it is added to Steam.
And Vladdy93 says his favorite game that he played this year, as well as his pick for Game of the Year, is Animal Crossing: New Horizons. And that's what I would pick for Game of the Year as well. Because I think that maybe there are some games that came out that were better. There may have been games that came out that were more well-rounded experiences all over. But god damn it, that was the perfect game that came out at the perfect time for what happened in 2020. I played that game religiously every single day of my unemployment. Then I got a job and I said, I don't have time for 2 jobs. I can't be mayor 2.
All right.
But it was perfect. I don't know what my favorite game was that I played. I'm still thinking about that. But for Game of the Year, that would be my pick.
Anti-Claus Prime, and of course Demon's Souls, but a remake, so not game of 2020.
Depends on how you qualify a remake. The Final Fantasy VII remake was so different from the original that is 100% a 2020 game.
When your remake acknowledges the fact that it's a remake, it's kind of, and they make it a storyline element in it, it's a new game.
Yeah.
When you have to 3D you have to flesh out another dimension for these characters of being self-aware.
Yeah, they're aware of how things should happen, and yet things are not quite going the same. I'm sorry, the game's been out for 8 months. We can talk about it with talking spoilers.
I mean, we did cover it extensively.
We did, yeah.
So if this is your first time watching, very sorry we spoiled that for you, but definitely play it because the look on the 2 characters that knows faces are amazing because they have 2 very different reactions and 2 very different career paths in the history.
Andy says the Demon's Soul remake was probably more of a remaster, actually, in that it was visually different, but played basically the same. Demon Dragon saying FF7 remake, probably her favorite and also her Game of the Year. I would say my favorite game that I played was probably Final Fantasy 15 for the first 3 quarters of the game. I didn't like the final quarter nearly as much, but that may have been my favorite game that I played all year.
So when you said that last week, I was very glad that we actually didn't get to, because I had to sit down and look at all of the games that I have played in 2020.
Yeah, it's rough. It's tough to sit down and say, what did I actually play? What left an impression on me? Hardspace Shipbreaker I played a lot of, but I mean it's still in early access. With all the bugs, so I can't say that's the best that I played this year.
How many was it? I challenge you. Did not actually count them. If you want me to give an earnest number, I'm gonna say more than 20. I have purchased, played, gone over. That doesn't even include the games that I did not yet touch, or I purchased to be played at a different time. Vladdy giving a shout out to Streets of Rage 4 as a close second. But I'm gonna say it is definitely over 20. But right off the top of my head, thinking about everything that I've sat down and said, "Hey guys, welcome to the stream," and I've been playing, there's definitely been over 20 of them.
Yeah.
But to be honest, my honorable mentions indefinitely go to Call of Duty Warzone. That game did a lot for a lot of people, and it was free. It is not without an immense amount of flaws and immense problems, but considering that the gate of entry was free 99, but an immense strain on your hard drive, I really enjoyed that game. I really enjoyed the fact that people who weren't a fan of Call of Duty were able to get into it, and that me and a lot of my friends
were able to play Call of Duty with you. That was amazing.
We were able to make something.
I still can't believe that happened.
I also want to give some big ups to Overwatch, because considering how old that game is still going strong. I still love that game with all my heart. But you know what my game of the year for 2020 definitely has to be?
What would it be?
My second plot on PS4. Ghost of Tsushima is a lot of fun. I really didn't give that game a lot of chance, and it really has to do with the fact that I got that game and then we moved the store, and I just it fell into the. But I had so much fun with that game, having it in Japanese, having the subtitles on, and having it in
the black and white.
Yes,
filter?
those. Mwah. So the honorable mention to that. But you know what? It did come out on PC in 2020. I'm gonna have to give Game of the Year, and I will go more in depth as to why, to Death Stranding. My God, you know what? I can't. We'll get to you. We'll get to you in a little bit. They're up there.
Oh, there we go. I'm like, what?
We'll definitely.
It's cut off.
We'll definitely have
cut
Guillermo and Sam on to talk about the game and why it is my game of the year. But we have so many topics to go over, and I really don't want to. Kurosawa mode. Thank you, Auntie. I totally blanked.
Because I mean, Kurosawa's cinematography was so much more than just black and white.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
It's a black and white filter.
Oh yeah, no. Again, not without problems, but I really like the fact that gave people who wouldn't necessarily have any idea who Kurosawa was.
It's enough to be like, oh, what's this?
I will definitely give a closer look at a lot of my games and come out with. I will say that I have a very soft spot for Animal Crossing, and I was a little bit sad that it didn't win at the Game Awards, considering when it came out, when it was released in the U.S. specifically, because that's right around when New York State buttoned up.
Because of that timing, and because it became the quarantine game. You know, it's more the circumstances around it than its own merits, but its own merits were still really strong as well. So I mean, that's what I got to give it to.
Again, still a game that's being supported, still a game that's getting updates, still a game that has content yet to be released.
Yeah.
And a burgeoning community online that you can connect with at any time. I will also say, just for me personally, it was very magical that my wife really loves Animal Crossing. So I bought her a Switch Lite so that she could have it at any time and play it. And I wound up buying 2 copies digitally so that at midnight, me and Claire and Vladdy would all have it at the same time. And at midnight, we all installed it. We all got it ready. We all started our villages. We all visited. We were all social. And it was so much fun. And I will forever have that memory of me and Claire chasing Vladdy and hitting him with nets as he cried. It was exactly what we needed at the time, and the screams of terror still fill my heart with warmth. Stop hitting me, Dave!
Yeah, we have one Switch, so Steph and I shared an island, and we did some projects together, but there was, a couple days where we just wandered around the island together, because you can do the local a couple people on at the same time, and both of us going into the museum and being all cute on a date together. You sit on the bench and you turn towards each other and we with the feet, and it was grossly adorable.
Vladdy, I'll forever have the scars. What's going on earlier, Dragon's Bane? And then Auntie, did you do it in the game as well? Maybe just for a little bit. But we did. I did manage to run over Vladdy's foot with his own robot that same weekend, so it was a good time. It was a great time, and I'm so thankful that Vladdy was.
It's obviously it was just foreshadowing to him always being sus and among us.
It was. It really was. He did try to murder me with that robot, by the way.
Rose Dragonsbane, we're talking. What was your favorite game that you played, and what it was your game of the year 2020? That came out 2020 that you felt was the best. And yeah, I mean, it's not everyone's choice, but it is a really strong choice, Animal Crossing.
So
imagine Vladdy surviving 2020. Let's round of applause to Vladdy for surviving 2020 with all the bullshit that we put him through. All right, what do we got?
So, didn't play any 2020 games, but I did join Stream this year.
She does mean Steam. She just mistyped it.
Still, you did join this stream.
And I played Yearwalk, my one video game of the year. You played that on December 31st. I remember being like, oh, she has Steam. She's playing Yearwalk.
Hell yeah.
That's an interesting way to... I like it. I need to play that game.
Oh, yeah.
Specifically, I need to play it next New Year's Eve, I'm told.
Also, shout out. Last mention is to Bloodborne because that game is. But interesting news going on in the BBC, which is that that wonderful doctor who saves us just in time will most likely be regenerating at the end of this season.
The series. Yep.
The most recent series. The actress that plays the doctor. That's right, actress. For those of you who don't know.
Yeah, I mean that news is a couple years old at this point.
But for some people who may not have watched Doctor Who or be aware of it,
she's the 13th regeneration.
Yes, Jodie Whittaker.
Yep.
She is following the tradition as started by David Tennant and followed by every actor subsequently after Tennant. That about three cycles. However many movies get slotted in there, that's not really a set thing.
Three series,
but 3 full main series, and then they regenerate out, and that usually keeps the face fresh. It usually keeps the actors from getting too bogged down with, hey, you were the doctor. It allows their careers to continue, and it also makes for extremely flexible writing when you can, every couple of years, have this new perspective, this new main character, without having to, oh no, this character died, but here's their brother we haven't discussed previously.
Yeah, you can have a character with the history of the show, but you are not tied into how that character is played. You get to open up to new possibilities for for chemistry between different actors, because in addition to the new Doctor, you also get new companions most of the time. I don't follow Doctor Who. I have a friend that is very much into it, and I visited him a few times, so I saw mostly maybe like half a dozen episodes of Tennant's run and a few Matt Smith ones as well. So I've seen
Matt Smith had the worst writing of any Doctor. Fight me. More like we're going to
writers tend to cycle out too,
which is so good. So I know we've only got time for one more mention, but I did want to, at the end of the stream, bring up, they died, but somehow they're alive again. Cough, cough, supernatural cough.
yeah. There's different ways to keep a show going forever.
So Nintendo had paired with a company called Starlight Children's Foundation, and it is an organization that is attempting to make children's stays in hospitals more hospitable. Actually, if you don't know this, Boder and I are two individuals that pair together and run a St. Jude's campaign. We have raised well over $5,000 at this point jointly, and it is amazing to get to do this. So anytime we see things like this, it does speak to our hearts because, fuck cancer. I love my students, and so I like kids. But the Starlight Children's Foundation and Nintendo paired together and are releasing digital kiosks that are going to be distributed to hospitals around the continental United States. They will have 25 pre-installed games into the systems, and they can be easily wheeled into community rooms as well as solo rooms where children may be staying because of quarantining or because they are unable to potentially get bugs or viruses.
They may be bedridden for one reason or another, physical or immunocompromised, whatever. They can wheel in the old TV cart. Wiki. We're watching a movie today.
So over 800 hospitals will be getting over 7,200 units shipped.
Wow. So that's not just like, cool, you get one for your entire children's
It's
ward.
not one per hospital. This is going to be 800 hospitals getting multiple units so that kids can be made to be more comfortable.
Math, that's close to 100 each? I mean, if they average out like that. Wow.
More like Rick Mortis, fantastic question, and the answer is hell yes they are.
Are they doing an age range of games?
So they're going to have games like Breath of the Wild. They are going to have Super Mario Maker. They are going to have Super Mario 3D All-Stars on them, by the way, which is going to then make them infinitely more valuable when 3D Mario All-Stars goes off of the market in March. And it is slated for many other games. So it is for children of all ages.
I had forgotten that Mario All-Stars is like a limited release.
Yes.
And I don't like that they're on the hospital units because that could promote some ne'er-do-welling.
It could. The other thing that it can do, and I know that hospitals are very good at this because Nintendo has worked with hospitals in the past with organizations to make N64 consoles, like gold ones, or cartridges that have multiple games on them. And you know what hospitals do after a couple of years of having this in stock? They auction it.
Oh,
and then people have to pay primo buckos to get those out of the hospital.
Awesome. Okay, there we go. I'm okay with it again.
Yes, because organizations like the Starlight Children's Foundation will be the owners, the proprietors, and the repairers of said things. This will be something that doesn't necessarily turn into from as they joked in Archer, but philanthropy of 1 laptop per child soldier, which then turned into 1,000 laptops per warlord.
Yeah.
So I'm greatly looking forward to seeing how this develops. I'm really, really excited that Nintendo, even though COVID is ravaging distributions and doing these things, that this deal started to come together at the beginning of 2019, and Nintendo has done one of the things that Nintendo is famous for, which is if it's for the kids, they will literally kill anybody in their way to finish it.
Yeah.
And they will sacrifice their own paychecks, their own employees' lives, but their own paychecks as well as executives. They'll sack Reggie just to get this done. And I'm greatly looking forward to seeing these. We will obviously not be creeping into hospitals to try to get our hands or a look at one of these. But just know that, you know, for all of the things that we've been poking fun at Nintendo for doing these last couple years, they managed to not sell us 7,200 Switch consoles and instead have blinged those motherfuckers out for sick children.
Yeah, I love it.
But
okay.
The time is now 8:04, and so what's going on after Nerd Glasses?
The time is 8:04, and actually, so we started a couple minutes late, so I do just want to say really quick, last time on Nerd Glasses, we had a guest on. We had Anthony from Guildhouse Games.
Woo!
We talked Varia for quite a while, and afterward I played Varia on the Citadel. It is a out-of-the-box card game that I hadn't played until after we interviewed him on Nerd Glasses. Dave, thank you for for the web of connections that got him on here. I've played that game close to a dozen times by now in the past couple of weeks.
Isn't it the best?
I love it. So at some point on the Citadel, it's got to be.
Oh my God, yes! And I know that our friends at Geek for All will absolutely get in on that as well.
Yeah.
More like rigor mortis. We are talking a little Varia, and I'm very excited. I know Guildhouse Games have been very excited for their pairing with Insane Games TV and Insane Games.
I played against More Like Rigor Mortis on Brunch with Boater. Rest in peace, More Like Rigor Mortis. Rest in peace, Cosmic.
Wait a minute. And me and Auntie figured this out after you left on Sunday, by the way. That you played 4 games, and how many did you win?
We played 2 games on Brunch with Boater. And in both of them, the Cosmic Mage did not do well against the Mystic Monk. They're not a well.
How funny that on my display I didn't have those guys anywhere near each other.
They're kind of like the opposites. They match up against each other a little bit. But
folks, we still have, and I kid you not, very few Varia decks left in our inventory.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the best thing about the Varia inventory here at Insane Games. I got this box literally the same time that the holiday rush hit, so we did not have time to change fixtures. This has literally been
sitting in like a tiny little like laundry basket looking thing.
Yeah. So these decks have been almost exclusively sold due to word of mouth here on Insane Games TV and to you, the members of the various communities, the Chevheads, the Mannonites, the Boater Bugs, the The
Sorry, did
guardian
you say
cult.
Mennonites?
Yes. The
But yeah, like it's been really cool seeing it take off. I've been enjoying it. It's interesting in that every time that I've played where someone is new to the game, the new person wins their first game. I played against Anthony and Sean, the two developers on the Citadel, in my very first game playing. Against Anthony, I won. I taught it to More Like Rigor Mortis. She won her first game. I taught it to my dad. He won his first game.
Nice.
It's like, I don't know if they're doing it on purpose somehow, but that's a really good way to get someone interested in a game is to give them a win right off the bat. That's what mobile games do.
I will say, I did not win my first game, but that's also because I was playing against Joe and Amy. And if you haven't watched youtube.com/geek4all, you should.
Dave, I played against one of the developers.
Dave played the mages More Like Rigor Mortis. I will absolutely be glad we will get... actually, so a little bit of tip of the hat. We'll kind of spoil this. In the background and before we went live, our wonderful Bishop here at Insane Games was creating a handmade wood table for us to use for streams in the future.
Yep.
So gone will be the behind-the-counter folding tables.
Yeah, rattle.
And super excited for that. So we will definitely be breaking that table in with some really nerdy shit soon.
Yeah, obviously. They can't keep it on that side of the studio forever.
We'll just
bring it
carry
over here. We've got Nerd Glasses, and following the Nerd Glasses is the Citadel, where tonight I will be playing Mad Max for a couple of hours, and then continuing work on the Neuschwanstein Castle Lego set piece. So that's what we're looking at on the Citadel immediately following Nerd Glasses podcast. We'll go offline. You'll wait about 5 minutes. You go to the bathroom, make some popcorn, coffee, whatever you got to do. Come on back. The countdown will be rolling, and I'll see you on the other side of that. In the meantime, Dave, was there anything else that we got to cover for Nerd Glasses tonight? We have to
just thank you so much for everyone for joining us every week.
God, we had such a great year. Like, not even just all things considered. No, we had a great year. And thank you. Like, it's to the credit of all of you. Thank you to everybody that made this year what it was for us. Thank you to everyone that viewed, that participated, that has chimed in, whether it's on Game of the Year topics or what have you. And with apologies to Death Stranding.
We ran out of time to talk about that again this week. Yeah. Well, next week, indefinitely.
Next week.
We'll definitely get to it.
And we got a whole year of trying to get to Death Stranding.
Well, Mr. Kojima, we'll validate your parking. Don't worry about it.
Gotcha. In the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching. I've been Boater.
I've been Dave Mann.
This has been the Nerd Glasses Podcast, and we'll see you next week. Bye! Do you think Dan